Chapter 29, Fangling Raid. The fang tanker took no damage from Lucius's claws. Not even a scratch was left on its thick black exoskeleton, but the blow was enough to wake the beast up. With the webs cleared away, Vivi had a full view of the most terrifying monster she had ever seen. The tanker opened its eyelids. Sharp globes of red ether stared down at Vivi from double her height. Its torso was a wall of hardened, impenetrable exoskeleton, stretching all the way to the ground where it stood on dozens of small centipede-like legs. The rest of its body trailed behind, carried by more legs. Its arms were crooked, ending in shield-shaped blocks with sharp points made for piercing anything in their way. The monster opened its mouth, revealing thick black teeth. It let out an ear-piercing screech that shook the entire cave. "Run!" Lucius shouted. Vivi sprinted with everything she had. The tanker was huge and heavy. She expected it to be slow. She was wrong. Its little legs weren't special. Its speed came from its arms. It slammed the spiked shields into the stone and dragged itself forward with shocking force. Every impact shook the ground and sent dust raining from the ceiling. The tunnel. Vivi dashed for the narrow exit. The tanker would be too large to follow. Each rhythmic slam behind her grew louder, closer. Lucius poured ether into her legs, but even that wasn't enough. The monster was gaining. Vivi lunged into the tunnel just as the tanker's arm stabbed into the ground where she had stood a heartbeat earlier. She scrambled forward, refusing to slow down. A shield crashed into the tunnel entrance. The spike stopped inches from Vivi's neck. The tanker roared in frustration. It was too big to enter. Outside the boss room, more monsters waited in a concave formation. Elite Fanglings, at least 10. Behind them stood a larger variation with heavier legs and longer claws. "A fang destroyer," Lucius warned. Ether surged to Vivi's hands, forming shining claws. Kill them all." Vivi unleashed a desperate discharge from her left hand, killing 2 Fanglings instantly. 7 more charged. She released her right claw, killing another. Her left refilled. Another fell before it could pierce her. A Fangling tackled her to the ground. Claws raked across her chest. Vivi screamed as Lucius flooded ether to protect her vitals. Fueled by panic, Vivi slashed upward, killing the Fangling and another behind it. Lucius's focus sharpened. He collected ether from the corpses while empowering Vivi's claws. Their reserves grew to 712. The claws strengthened with every kill, now one-shotting even elite variants. Vivi growled, sweeping across the room. 2 more elite Fanglings fell, and the slash carried through to strike the Fang destroyer. It barely took damage. The destroyer advanced with deliberate steps, pushing Vivi back toward the tanker's lair. More Fanglings poured in, dozens, a living tide. Vivi's eyes burned red with fury. Ether surged violently through her arms. She unleashed slash after slash. Fanglings died before they could reach her. Their ether flowed into Lucius. Their reserves climbed, 800, 839, 873. At 900, Lucius charged both claws fully. Vivi dashed forward and tore into the destroyer at close range. Cracks spread across its exoskeleton. It staggered. Vivi charged again and drove her claws deep into its abdomen. The destroyer collapsed. Lucius harvested its ether. Their reserves hit 967. "Almost there," Lucius said. "At 1,000 the claws evolve." "I told you we'd get ambushed," Vivi shouted in her mind. "We need to get out." "Agreed," Lucius said. "I'm running low too, backtrack." Vivi burst into the next room. More Fanglings rushed in. She carved through them as she moved. As long as she wasn't surrounded, the regular ones were easy prey. Another destroyer lunged from the right. Vivi ignored it and sprinted into the room she had already cleared of webs. More Fanglings fell behind her. Lucius struggled to harvest the ether quickly enough. They moved room to room. Fanglings attacked from behind, ahead, above, and beside. Vivi spun, slashed, ran, her body fueled only by instinct and terror. A fangling claw struck her back. She hissed in pain, turned, and cut it down. Their reserves hit 1005. Evolution. Vivi's hands glowed red, constantly charged with ether. Her claws grew sharper. She could shred through more enemies in a single swipe, and each strike charged almost instantly. But Lucius's usable ether was nearly gone. They needed to escape. A screech echoed through the caves, the tanker. The sound sent the little ones into a frenzy. Fanglings poured in from every direction. Vivi gritted her teeth and bolted toward the exit. But the way out was blocked by destroyers, several of them, each carrying hundreds of ether. Vivi slashed, but the destroyers braced themselves and resisted. More fanglings swarmed from behind. She would be overwhelmed. To the left, Vivi thought. She slashed through the web-covered entrance and rushed into the dark room beyond. Inside were eggs and larvae. A red-eyed brood mother screeched. Vivi screamed back and slashed wildly. The brood mother fell. The larvae were torn apart. Fanglings tried to force their way in through the narrow tunnel, but Vivi slashed at the choke point repeatedly, killing them by the tens. Their reserves surged past 1200. Lucius now had more ether than he could spend. But there was no exit. Only a small crawlspace. Vivi didn't hesitate. She dove inside. Lucius, kill anything that follows. Got it, he answered. The crawlspace wasn't filled with webs, but it was lined with sharp white stones that scraped against her skin as she dragged herself forward. The fanglings chased for a minute, then stopped. No enemies ahead either. Why? Vivi, those rocks, Lucius said. Look. His translucent glow illuminated them. Emberstones. Emberstones repel monsters, Lucius said. We're lucky. Vivi kept crawling. Emberstones reacted to ether. If a fangling touched one, it burned. She barely heard him. Ahead was faint blue light. The exit. Vivi pushed forward. The crawlspace opened into the ceiling of another chamber. She tumbled out and hit the stone floor beside sharp crystals. The chamber was small and quiet. No monsters, just a river flowing from a crack in the ceiling and disappearing into a crevice in the ground. Vivi let out a weak chuckle, then another, then she laughed uncontrollably. We're alive, she gasped. We escaped. Of course we escaped, Lucius said proudly. A strategic exit. After the massacre, Lucius's ether reserves peaked at 1,327. Chapter complete. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, and subscribe for more light novel adventures. Tune in for the next chapter.